When most people hear the word blues, they immediately think of sadness. They imagine slow guitar riffs, smoky voices, maybe songs about heartbreak or hard living. But the blues are much deeper than that. They're not simply a musical genre, they're a system for translating human experience into sound. To understand the blues, we have to start with something simple: the color. In nature, blue appears most prominently in two places that humans have looked towards for thousands of years when trying to understand the world: the sky and the sea. The sky represents the infinite. The ocean represents depth. And interestingly, the ocean often appears blue because it reflects the sky. Water becomes a mirror for heaven. This relationship becomes a powerful metaphor for the emotional world. Human emotion often reflects our inner consciousness in the same way water reflects the sky. The blues are music built from that reflection. They are the sound of emotion being mirrored and expressed. But the blues are not only symbolic, they're also biological. When a blues singer performs, something unique happens with the voice. Notes bend, pitch slides between tones, and the singer stretches sounds longer than expected. You hear tones like oh, or ah, sounds that carry feeling rather than perfect pitch. These sounds interact directly with the human nervous system, and inside the body there is a nerve called the vagus nerve. It runs from the brainstem through the throat, heart, lungs, and digestive systems. The vagus nerve plays a major role in regulating emotional states and controlling vocal expression. Certain sounds, especially humming, chanting, and sustained vocal tones, stimulate this nerve. This is one reason why singing, humming, and chanting can calm the body and release tension. Blues singers discovered this instinctively. Through bending notes and expressive singing, the blues allow emotional energy to move through the body instead of remaining trapped inside it. In this way, the blues function as a form of emotional release. The music becomes a channel through which experience can be expressed and processed. Another important feature of the blues lie in something musicians call the blue note. In Western music theory, notes are normally played at precise pitches within a scale. But blues musicians intentionally bend certain notes. They lower them slightly. The notes most often altered are the third, fifth, and seventh notes of the scale. These slightly lowered tones create tension in the music. They sit somewhere between major and minor, between brightness and sorrow. The human brain tends to interpret this tension as melancholy, longing, or emotional depth. This is why blues notes often sound reflective or sad. But the blues do not remain in sadness. The note bends. It moves. It slides between emotional states rather than staying fixed. The music lives between structures. The idea of structure leads to another fascinating connection involving the color blue. The word blueprint comes from a real architectural process used before modern printing technology. Architects once copied their designs using a method called cyanotype printing, which produced white lines on deep blue paper. These prints became known as blueprints. The blueprint represented the hidden structure of something before it was built. It was the plan, the underlying design. Interestingly, long before architectural blueprints existed, blue pigments were already used in another form of mapping: early cartography. Many historical maps used blue or indigo pigments to represent oceans, rivers, and unknown territories. These colors helped explorers understand the boundaries of the world. They showed where land ended and mystery began. So, across different fields, architecture, cartography, and design, blue repeatedly appears in connection with mapping and structure. And the blues in their own way do something very similar. They map human experience. Through melody and storytelling, the blues create a kind of emotional blueprint. They outline the structure of life: love, hardship, migration, resilience, and survival. The storytelling element is one of the oldest aspects of blues music. Early blues songs were often improvised. Music sang about travel, work, relationships, betrayal, and endurance. The blues singer became a translator of lived experience. Personal stories became collective understanding. But there's another layer to this music. Before guitars and bands became central to the blues, the human voice was the primary instrument. Field hollers, spirituals, and work chants were carried almost entirely through vocal expression. The voice originates in the throat, and across many traditions, the throat is associated with communication and vibration. In some philosophical systems, this center of expression is symbolized by the color blue. Whether viewed symbolically or physically, the connection is interesting. The blues are throat-centered music that turn breath into sound, emotion into vibration. The singer is the transmitter, converting internal experience into frequencies that travel outward through the air. Sound leaves the body and moves through space until it reaches another listener. And when that sound resonates with someone else, a connection forms. One person's experience becomes shared understanding. Historically, the blues emerged in the American South during the late 19th century. Many of its earliest forms developed from African American musical traditions, such as field hollers, spirituals, and work songs. These songs carried memory, they carried grief, they carried endurance, but something remarkable happened within this music. Instead of allowing pain to remain silent, the blues transformed it into sound. Hardship became rhythm, emotion became melody, experience became frequency. This transformation is why the blues often feel both sorrowful and powerful at the same time. They acknowledge suffering, but they also demonstrate survival. Musically, the blues follow repeating structures such as the famous 12-bar blues progression. This pattern cycles through tension and resolution again and again. Emotion rises, harmony shifts, and then the music settles before beginning another cycle. This repeating structure mirrors the way humans experience life. Tension builds, we adapt, we move through it, and then the cycle resets. Within this pattern, musicians learn something profound. They learn how to tune emotion. Blues musicians bend notes, shaping sound between fixed pitches. This bending becomes a metaphor for emotional resilience. Life does not always follow perfect structures. Sometimes the path exists between notes. The blues embrace that space. And that's why the blues became the foundation of so many modern genres. From blues came jazz. From blues and jazz came rhythm and blues. From there emerged soul, rock and roll, funk, and eventually hip-hop. Nearly every major form of modern popular music carries the DNA of the blues, but the original purpose of the blues remains the same. They transform experience into expression. They turn memory into sound. They take emotion, even difficult emotions, and shape it into something that resonates with others. In that sense, the blues are more than music. They're maps of feeling, memory, and how human beings navigate life itself. They are the blueprint of emotion, and they show us how experience becomes frequency and how that frequency becomes music.